Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Jane is off today. The Medical Lake community will honor fallen heroes this weekend with a special tribute. Community members unveiled a half-size replica of Washington, D.C.'s Vietnam Veteran Memorial today. It's called the Moving Wall. It bears the names of more than 58,000 servicemen and women who died in the Vietnam War. KREM 2's Alexa Block shows us what this memorial means to the Medical Lake community.
Each name etched into history. Each life given in service honored.
I have probably 20 friends' names on the wall.
And that's why Wes Anderson wanted to be a part of bringing the legacies of these fallen heroes here to Medical Lake.
A lot of Vietnam veterans use it as a point of closure because they can't go back to the wall. So we brought the wall to them.
In a field near Medical Lake Middle School, more than 58,000 names are on display. They are the names of men and women who fought and died during the Vietnam War. And the Medical Lake community stood together to honor them. More than $32,000 was raised to get this moving Vietnam Veterans Memorial replica here. It's modeled after the one in Washington, D.C. It's about half the size, but it's nothing short of impressive. It took 18 months to go through the entire process to get it here. But Anderson knows it is all worth it, not just for the veterans, but for their families as well.
Young girls, they were looking for their grandfather's name. And so I took them to it, and they were appreciative because now they got to see something tangible.
This wall is more than a way to remember those who fought for our country. It symbolizes a bond that links all veterans and servicemen and women.
It's our way of stopping by and saying hi, because we were a brotherhood. We still are.
In Medical Lake, Alexa Block, KREM 2 News.
Babies born in Washington have a better chance of growing up healthy because of a newly expanded and renovated state lab. For every baby born in Washington, doctors collect a tiny blood sample to send it to that state lab. There, the Department of Health tests newborns for a range of disorders and diseases, many of which are invisible at birth. The state recently invested $4.2 million in upgrades, which includes renovated labs, new buildings, and additional space.
We are able to identify babies who are sick before the clinical symptoms happen, and we're able to save babies from dying and save them from having permanent repercussions from becoming sick.
The state says it can get test results within a week and sometimes as fast as a few days, so doctors can take swift action to treat infants with hidden disorders. Washington Governor Jay Inslee is among 20 Democratic presidential candidates taking part in the Democratic National Committee's first debate later this month. We now know how the candidates will be broken up. There will be two-hour debates, each with 10 candidates. Inslee will be part of the first session on June 26th. The DNC says it divided the candidates at random. After a night out in Spokane, riding a Lime scooter may seem like an inexpensive and convenient option to get home, but can you get a DUI while riding a scooter or a bike? KREM 2's Amanda Rowley asked Spokane police.
As inexpensive and convenient Lime scooters can be, they may not be the best idea after a night out. Since the Lime program returned to Spokane in May, there have been a total of 2 injuries reported. That's according to Spokane city officials overseeing the program. But can you be cited for a DUI if you ride a scooter or bike after one too many? Spokane Police Sergeant Terry Pruniger says no.
You may be, depending on your actions, committing other crimes that have to do with rules of the road, or your behavior just may be so dangerous that police have to intervene.
Here's why. In 1995, the Washington State Supreme Court determined the legislature intended the DUI law to apply to motor vehicles only. It ruled the DUI statute does not include bicycles. Pruniger says that also goes for scooters. Now you may be thinking, but the scooters are electric. Doesn't that make it a motorized vehicle? Sergeant Pruniger says the scooters just don't meet the state's definition of a motorized vehicle.
The scooters are also technically not motorized, so you're not going to see a city cop give a DUI on one of those.
He adds that while only a couple injuries have been reported, he occasionally patrols the bar scene and has witnessed a few wipeouts.
Especially the officers that work over the weekends and in the evenings, they have noticed an increase in crashes, and we've seen people crash scooters, crash bicycles.
So it may not really be the best idea to ride a scooter after a few cold ones, and based on the crashes police have seen, it's maybe best to call a taxi or an Uber. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
What's the saying? Always better safe than sorry, right? There we go. All right, to weather now. Joining Michelle Boss over here in the Weather Center. Yesterday we tied a record high, 91 degrees. A little bit cooler today.
10 degrees cooler, even though it's still pretty warm outside, especially out across the Columbia Basin. But even those folks saw about a 10-degree cool down. We're looking at temperatures right now at 87 degrees in Moses Lake. Yes, it was in the upper 90s yesterday. So still hot, but not as hot as yesterday. 81 in Spokane, and actually a little bit more comfortable temperatures across the Idaho Panhandle. It's 79 in Coeur d'Alene, and even cooler in the mid-70s from St. Mary's down into Pullman at 76 degrees. Satellite and radar showing mainly just mostly sunny skies out there. A few sprinkles up in the mountains of the northern Panhandle near the Canadian border, and that is it. Otherwise, dry weather across the region. It should be quiet this evening and overnight. If you're going to be out and about, temperatures settling down into the 70s, and we should be bottoming out in the mid-50s overnight. Looking forward to a warm weekend. Temperatures in the lower 80s on Saturday with mostly sunny skies. Sunday heating up again for Father's Day, partly cloudy and 86.
Thank you very much. In other news, two families in the Deer Park area just got the keys to their brand new homes. Both families are new homeowners through what's called the Habitat for Humanity Blitz Build. It's a partnership that helps families involved with the organization have affordable housing. KREM 2 Shayna Waldtower tells us more about this work and how it's changing lives.
Yeah, the team of volunteers here at the Habitat for Humanity believe that every person, regardless of personal circumstances, should be able to own their own home. Feeling the pride of putting those keys in their front door.
As much as I love to see families receiving the keys to their homes, they're the ones that did this.
Blitz Build is well underway, and two families are receiving the keys to their new homes.
Each home has been basically from the ground up volunteer labor, which is pretty incredible.
During Blitz Build, volunteers and the future homeowners with Habitat for Humanity build as many homes as they can, as quickly as they can. And today, two of these homes are now completed, which means these families are brand new homeowners.
It's a little bit of shock, right? So this, for the last, year and a half to 2 years, sometimes 3 years that families are in this program, they are working so hard to earn something that we call sweat equity.
This refugee family came to America being happy with just finding any place to stay. But as they became involved with Habitat, they started working toward what will become their new home.
Finally, they're at the finish line.
These new homeowners are paying a mortgage that's no more than 30% of their income. Gerardo says this allows the families to use the rest of their money to continue bettering themselves.
Their dreams of having a stable home and having an affordable home, it's going to open up some different opportunities in their minds.
It's a start to many families getting their keys to their new homes and a fresh start in their new lives. In Deer Park, Shayna Waldtower, KREM 2 News.